What's up, folks? Dan here from BeAGameCharacter.com, and we're here with today's episode of Going Superhuman. Now, today's episode of Going Superhuman is actually going to focus more on the brain than the body. Quick update for you, though. I have begun doing yoga before bed every night, like I said I was going to. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a bit, but just so you know, in case you're following along at home, I'm doing the yoga before bedtime routine or whatever by Yoga with Adrian. I will link that at the end. It's just a video on YouTube that I follow along. It's about 20 minutes long. It's very nice. I've really enjoyed it. Not the extensive stretching and flexibility work that I was really looking for from my yoga practice, but that would not necessarily be a great idea right before bed to get, my blood flowing right before I'm trying to go to sleep. So for now, it's absolutely better than nothing, and it's definitely improved my sleep quality a bit. And I've been really enjoying it. So like I said, I will link that at the end of the video, so look for that there. But today we are going to talk about developing the superhuman brain. And I would like to happily announce that this is also going to herald the return of Unleash the Ultramind. If you've seen my other channel, Unleash the Ultramind, I have, I think, 6 episodes up on there so far, but I ran out of time for doing it. But now that I am no longer embroiled in the stuff that I was embroiled in, I should hopefully have more time to do things. And so I am bringing back the show starting next week. Every Tuesday, at least, Unleash the Ultramind episodes will be going live. I've already got some scripts written up. I'm working on the videos. So we should hopefully no longer see any interruptions in the regular Tuesday updates over on Unleash the Ultramind. So if you were watching that channel and you were really enjoying the content, more will be coming beginning next week. I'm very excited about that. Can't wait to show you. So in the spirit of that, we're going to talk about how I've been developing my brain in addition to my body. Now, not to brag, but I have always considered myself relatively intelligent and relatively mentally capable. However, I have also consistently put in work to improve that capability. And by that, I don't mean doing stuff like, regular puzzles and math problems and stuff like that. Like brain training games and stuff like that have basically zero effect on your brain. Like, they make you good at playing brain training games. That's it. Stuff like Lumosity and whatnot. They make you very good at the specific tasks which they are training you for, but they do not increase your overall mental muscle. Instead, I do other stuff to optimize my productivity, my focus, my determination. That's my general overall goal with any mind work that I do, is increasing my output of stuff and my utilization of time, while also improving in specific skills that I'm looking to improve in or specific areas of knowledge. One of the things that I have noticed throughout all of my breakdowns of various super smart people for Unleash the Ultramind is that one recurring theme is consistently learning whenever they have a chance. Reading books, listening to audiobooks, stuff like that. So that's what I do. That is the first thing that I do to train my brain, is I am consistently trying to learn new stuff. Now, I spend too much time on the internet. This is true. However, I also spend a lot of time reading books. I personally have been really enjoying biographies and autobiographies of various figures through history lately. Currently about to start on a book on Teddy Roosevelt, who's one of my favorites. I also listen to, at work, I've mentioned before, I work at a fish farm. I've got long periods of time where I do, I have nobody around me. I'm just doing menial tasks for hours and hours on end. There's nobody around me. So what I do is I listen to audiobooks as well. Now, my audiobooks tend to run the gamut from, I love stuff, breakdowns about human psychology and stuff like that. The general, just basically I like learning about people more than anything else. The way that people think, the way that people work. Learning about famous people. Again, there's the autobiographies and biographies, again, that I listen to a lot. But so overall, that's the first thing that I do to try to increase my mental acuity on a regular basis. So that's one thing. That's the first thing that I do, is constantly try to learn. I try to learn something new every single day, if not a bunch of new things every day. The next thing that I do is I meditate every day. Now, meditation is fantastic for nothing else than it helps you decrease your stress level, and decreasing stress level overall helps everything. Brain power, physical health, everything. Reducing stress, reducing the cortisol in your system is fantastic. Now, I personally meditate right before I go to sleep. Not in my bed, I meditate in a nice big easy chair that I have. But I meditate every day before I go to sleep. And I've talked about meditation a little bit before, and I have a tutorial on the blog, in fact, that I wrote up. But my personal approach to meditation that works for me is I do counting. So my current routine is that I will turn out all the lights, I'll sit in my easy chair, I'll put my footrest up, and I will begin breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And what I do is I breathe in for a slow count of 7 at a regular pace, and then I hold my breath, trying not to tense my diaphragm too much or my body, but I hold my breath for a count of 7 at the same pace, and then I exhale for a count of 7. And then as soon as I'm done exhaling for a count of 7, I breathe back in for a count of 7. So it's a 7, 7, 7. I try to think of it, when I visualize it, I think of it almost like an inverted triangle, like 7 up, 7 across, 7 down kind of a thing. And I just go in that pattern. And what I use that for is to not to enter sort of the final trance state of my meditation, but just to kind of calm my mind. Now, I fully believe that if I was born in the year 2000 or 2010 rather than the 1980s, I probably would have been diagnosed with ADHD in my childhood. My brain is super fast, and super everywhere at once. Like right now as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of like 15 different things in my head. As I go through life, I have serious focus issues that I have learned over the years to control and deal with, because since I wasn't diagnosed ADHD, I never went on medication of any kind. But I fully believe, and now that my son has been diagnosed with ADHD, I see myself in him so much. I remember being his age and knowing exactly what's going on in his brain. It blows my mind. So because of that, I have had to develop various techniques for focusing and honing in and controlling my brain, although control is not a good word for it. So the counting at the beginning of when I meditate really helps me out a lot, because it enables me to have something to focus on, so that even though my brain is running all over the place in the background, I've got something in the foreground that's very simple and very straightforward to focus on. The counting really helps. The visualization of that shape, like the triangle shape, as I'm doing it, really helps. And generally speaking, that's like the first stage. After I've done that for 5 or 10 minutes, I find myself slipping down into sort of a calmer state in which the rest of my brain kind of starts to gradually shut off. And I have to tell you, it's an amazing feeling, because having your brain move 100 miles a second all the time gets super tiring, and you don't realize it while it's happening until you take that moment to slow it down. So that's the first step, is the 777 count. And then from there, I will generally enter sort of a trance state where, it feels almost like my body is asleep, but my brain is not. You get this perfect mental clarity, and everything around me becomes more, not amplified, but I become more aware of everything, which is a standard thing in meditation, is to become more aware of yourself, more aware of your surroundings, and more focused on everything that's going on. And I will generally remain in that state for a good 5 to 10 minutes before slowly coming back out of it again. And I try to stay there as long as I can, but it's difficult to stay there without either A, falling asleep, or B, eventually losing that sort of trance state and coming back out on its own. So over time, I've gotten better at it. When I first started meditating, it was basically just sitting there counting to myself for 10 minutes. And I did calm down a bit, but, it only did so much. But over time, since I've been doing it for, at this point, years and years and years, I'm able to get to a different state of consciousness that I can feel that really helps me to focus in, to quiet down the brain, to get myself ready to sleep. And it's one of the tools that I've used to conquer my chronic insomnia that I've dealt with like my whole life. So that's the second thing that I do for mental training, is I meditate before bed every single day. And that's the last part of my evening rituals that I've developed. And the evening rituals, I feel, are one of the biggest parts of my brain training regimen that are important. So before I meditate, to start it all off, what I do is I turn off all access to screens for like the hour before bedtime as best I am able. Sometimes I have stuff I'm working on when I get home from work or something like that that I have to get back to and finish up for the blog or for the YouTube channel here. But then I try to at least get at minimum a half hour with no screens, but at maximum like an hour. I'll set my alarms on my cell phone and get my cell phone all ready to go and plug it in, and then I won't touch it. I'll just leave it be. So first, that's the first thing. Screens off. I usually have a snack. If I have time, I'll read a little bit in a book that I'm reading or whatever, and then I mean an actual like Dead Tree paper book, not like an e-book in my phone. Because again, no screens. And then what I will do is now I have started to incorporate my nighttime yoga. So what I will do is I will have no screens, and then I will go first before I go to my yoga. I will go towards my journal, and that's another big thing that I found that really helps mentally. Is I have a journal that I've kept, and I've kept several. I mean, I've got let me see here. Here we go. So I've got, this is one of my older ones. You can see this is from what is that? That's October. No. That's August. Sorry, I misread that. August 12th, 2015 to May 25th of 2016. You can see I've just filled basically all of the pages there. And this is one of the first ones I started keeping a little over a year ago. And then this is my most recent one you can see here, and I'll kind of show you the format here if you can see. So what I do is I'll start out with just, a general review, and I'll write these basically, like I said, it's part of my nighttime ritual, so I'll write these at the end of the day. But since I work at a job that's overnight right now, I'll actually write the date for what the day is, but it's technically the end of my day. Even though it's like 5 in the morning on the 27th when I write this, this is the end of my day that started on the 26th. So it gets a little weird like that. But so what I will do is I will write and I will review my day. Sometimes this can be just kind of a feelings dump, like if I'm kind of emotionally charged for whatever reason, I got to write down something, I will write it and get all out on paper. Occasionally it's notes for something that I've been learning really hard, that I've been working on, that I've been studying. I will write down quick notes of stuff that I remember before I go to bed. Other times it's just a review of the day that has just passed. I'll write down how I felt about what I did, what goals I had set for myself, how well I had accomplished them, possible optimizations for that. And then from there I go into what I'm going to do when I wake up. Now this is really important. A lot of people recommend journaling, but they'll say, there's tons of different approaches out there. I write to-do lists because they help to keep me focused. Again, that whole focus, self-discipline thing. But they're just general outlines. I don't go too far into specifics or lay down timelines or anything like that. I've tried that, and I've found that doesn't help. But I will lay down general outlines for what I'm shooting for that day. And then, so I will write that down. I'll write down everything that I plan on doing once I wake up. And this is really important, is the fact that I do it the night before. I found that if I journal in the morning, I take way too much time doing it. Generally speaking, I'd prefer to get out of bed, drink my coffee, and get right into whatever it is I'm working on for the day. So by journaling the day beforehand, I get a lot of stuff, laid out that I want to do without taking up time of my following day. So I write down all the goals for the day, and then finally I finish off with any kind of positive affirmations that I'm working on right down there. Any big goals that I'm working on, I'll say, I am trying to do this, or not I'm trying, but I will do this, I will do that, I will be doing this, I will become this, stuff like that, which affirmations are kind of controversial. And some people are really for them and some people are really against them. I find that they help just because they help to maintain my positive mindset and the overall focus. If I have one or maybe two singular goals that I'm working towards in any certain phase of my life, writing them down on a daily basis and saying I will do this thing has really helped me just get my mindset straight and keep working towards it. And I've noticed significant growth in my life once I started doing that. Now, it's 100% a psychological thing. I do not believe that it's like, you're bending the universe to your will as you do it or whatever, but I do think that it helps to get your brain in the right place and get your general subconscious in line behind your consciousness, just by that macroliminal continual reinforcement of this is the thing I'm working towards, this is my singular end goal, this is what I'm reverse engineering my life towards right now, and everything on my to-do list generally in some way falls in line with that final goal that's on the bottom there. So that's my journaling process. So again, to take you through my nighttime ritual, I will first turn off all screens, then I will go through my journaling process. Then after that comes any hygiene-based stuff, like flossing and brushing my teeth. I get very dry skin, so I'll lotion my hands and stuff like that. Obviously not related to brain building, but whatever. That sort of stuff. Basically, whatever I have to do that's physical, that's left to do before I go to bed. And then I go into now my yoga routine, which I will go and do the yoga for 20 minutes, and it's great, feels very good. And then finally from there, I will move on to my seated meditation, which I already spoke about. And I feel like having that set end of day ritual, once I've developed that, has helped so much in my life. I mean, as far as mental development goes, having that collection of thoughts at the end of the day, that slight review, the setting of goals and timelines for that, and to-do lists for the next day, that has been an enormous benefit to me. And then going from there to the meditation and the yoga, that bodily and mental focus and wind down at the end of the day, really just major overhaul of my life once I started adding those elements in there. So that is generally what I've been doing now to develop my mental strength. So I try and learn something new every day. I've developed a nighttime ritual that involves journaling and meditation and yoga. And what I've found is that even just the few simple things, by slowly incorporating them into my life and becoming habits, I have dramatically boosted my own focus and determination, self-control, self-discipline, all those aspects, just a few simple things. So in general, I would recommend all those to everyone. I have found that some people prefer to journal in the morning than the evening when I talk to them. Some people, don't like seated meditation. They prefer some sort of moving meditation like Tai Chi or something like that. But on the whole, I would say that all of those things are not only straight up beneficial to you, but they will also help to boost your brain power in ways that stuff like brain training and lumosity and stuff like that will never do so. So that's what I recommend for you to try. Give meditation a shot. Try and carve out at least 5 minutes every day for it. 5 minutes is not that hard to find. You can do it before bed like I do. That's what I found is the easiest time to do it. But you could also do it in the morning, whatever. Twice a day is very ambitious. I would like to do that, but let's be honest, I have so little time right now. But just try and find time to meditate. Start keeping a journal, even if just that you can look back on stuff. It's kind of fun to look back on old journal entries and see how far I've come. Whatever. So that's the general gist of today's episode. I hope this really helps you, because I think that we pay a lot of attention to the physical game, even here on Be a Game Character, but not enough attention to the mental game. So I would say give those things a shot this week. Try it. See how it goes for you. Any one of those things. Pick one thing and just go with it and see how it feels for you, and see how you feel at the end of a week or a month or a year. I can guarantee you're going to see some serious positive changes in your life, even if you incorporate just one thing. Even if it's just journaling or just meditation or whatever. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, Unleash the Ultramind coming back next week, Tuesday, new post. Get excited. It's going to be there. And I will see you then. Here on Be a Game Character, we've got 2 new videos going up tomorrow. Get excited for that. And then maybe a video on Friday as well, and maybe a video on Saturday. So we'll see. Thank you for watching. As usual, remember, live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.